would be appreciation. Yes.
This is so sweet.
This is so sweet.
I can't wait till I start getting texts.
In Dallas, Texas, a woman named Disha Stevenson built a life centered on compassion, hard work, and resilience. Her story deserves to be told, not just because of how it ended, but because of how she lived. On October 25, 2023, Disha's body was found on Murdoch Road with a fatal gunshot wound to her chest. The person responsible? Her husband, Michael Smith, the same man she had once gifted $10,000 in cash for his birthday. But Disha's story isn't defined by her death. It's found in the countless lives she touched as a devoted mother, a selfless caregiver, and a determined entrepreneur. It's written in the legacy she left behind, a testament to her generosity and unwavering spirit. Today, we're going to examine the complex dynamics that led to this tragedy. We'll look at the warning indicators everyone missed, the psychological factors at play, and most importantly, we'll honor Disha's memory by sharing her full story. This isn't just another true crime narrative. This is about understanding how someone so giving could fall victim to the person who should have protected her most. Disha's life was defined by the multiple roles she balanced with remarkable grace. As a mother to a teenage daughter, she demonstrated unwavering commitment. Her daughter was her priority, and despite her busy schedule, Disha remained present and attentive in her life. Friends noted how she never missed important moments, always making time to attend school events and support her daughter's aspirations. Beyond motherhood, Disha served as the primary caregiver for her partially paralyzed mother. This responsibility demanded emotional strength and physical dedication, yet she approached it with patience and love. Day after day, she provided care while maintaining her own ambitions and responsibilities. Her entrepreneurial spirit manifested in her business, Sh0t Purses and More LLC. This wasn't merely a source of income, it represented her creative vision and desire for independence. The clothing and accessories brand became her platform for self-expression and financial autonomy. During tax season, she supplemented her income as a tax preparer, showcasing her versatility and work ethic. What makes Disha's story remarkable is how she managed these roles simultaneously. While many would have been overwhelmed, she found balance through determination and organization. Her ability to nurture relationships while building her business revealed a woman of exceptional capability and heart. Disha's influence extended far beyond her immediate family circle. In her Dallas community, she became known for her willingness to help others without expectation of return. Local outreach programs counted her among their most reliable volunteers, and her business often served as a vehicle for community support. Those who knew her describe a woman with an infectious optimism that transformed rooms. Her laughter was memorable, full and genuine, a reflection of her authentic approach to life. Despite facing her own challenges, Disha consistently prioritized uplifting others through both words and actions. What truly distinguished her was her ability to connect with people from all walks of life. Whether advising aspiring entrepreneurs or comforting those in difficult circumstances, she offered wisdom delivered with genuine warmth. This distinctive combination of practical guidance and emotional intelligence made her a trusted confidante and respected figure whose absence continues to be deeply felt throughout her community. Before we continue with Disha's story, I want to take a moment to connect with you, my audience. Stories like Disha's often go untold, hidden behind statistics and brief news reports. By sharing these accounts, we honor victims and potentially save lives through awareness. If you're finding value in this detailed approach to true crime storytelling, where we examine not just what happened, but the complex human elements involved, please consider hitting the like button. Your engagement helps this content reach others who might benefit from these important discussions. The comments section below provides a space for respectful conversation about domestic violence awareness. Have you noticed subtle signs of controlling behavior in relationships around you? What resources exist in your community for those experiencing domestic abuse? Your insights could provide crucial information for someone in need. For those who haven't yet subscribed, joining this channel means becoming part of a community dedicated to understanding human behavior, recognizing dangerous patterns, and advocating for victims. We approach each case with sensitivity and purpose, not for sensation, but for education and prevention. As we move forward with Disha's story, we'll examine the relationship dynamics that ultimately led to tragedy. Her experience contains valuable lessons about recognizing concerning behaviors before they escalate to violence. By subscribing, you'll receive notifications about future episodes that continue this important conversation. Thank you for your attention and thoughtfulness as we honor Disha's memory by sharing her complete story. Not just how it ended, but the full, rich life she lived and the impact she made during her time with us. To understand the tragedy that befell Disha Stevenson, we must examine the man she married and the relationship they presented to the world. Michael Smith appeared, to casual observers, as an ordinary husband. In public settings, the couple maintained an image of normalcy that masked the troubled reality of their private life. Those who only witnessed their interactions at community events or family gatherings might have seen nothing concerning. Photos shared on social media portrayed happy moments, celebrations, outings, and everyday life captured in seemingly loving snapshots. They attended functions together, participated in community activities, and, by all outward appearances, represented a typical married couple. This public image stood in stark contrast to what those closest to Disha would later reveal. The disconnect between appearance and reality created a dangerous situation where interventions became difficult. While Disha continued to support her husband emotionally and financially, even during periods of hardship, the underlying tension remained invisible to most. This gap between public perception and private reality is common in cases of domestic abuse, where maintaining appearances often becomes part of the complex dynamic between victim and abuser. For Disha, this divide would prove fatal. The relationship between Disha and Michael evolved over time into a disturbing imbalance of power. According to family members who later spoke with investigators, Michael's behavior showed consistent patterns of control that intensified as Disha's independence grew. During Michael's period of incarceration, Disha demonstrated unwavering loyalty. She visited regularly, provided financial support, and maintained their household alone. Rather than fostering gratitude, this support seemed to deepen Michael's sense of inadequacy when comparing himself to his successful wife. As Disha's business flourished, bringing her not only financial stability but also community recognition, the power balance shifted further. Her increasing self-sufficiency appeared to threaten Michael, whose contributions to their shared life reportedly diminished over time. Those who knew them noted how conversations between the couple changed. What once might have been discussions became one-sided decisions. Michael reportedly grew more demanding of Disha's time, resources, and attention while offering less in return. This gradual transformation of their relationship dynamics created a dangerous situation where Michael's need for dominance clashed with Disha's natural growth as an entrepreneur and community figure. Their home environment, once a place of safety, slowly transformed into a stage where control and manipulation played out behind closed doors. Several pivotal incidents illuminated the troubled nature of Disha and Michael's relationship. Most notable was Disha's extraordinary gesture of giving Michael $10,000 in cash for his birthday. This act of generosity, intended as a demonstration of support and celebration, instead became a catalyst for conflict. According to those close to the situation, rather than appreciating this remarkable gift, Michael appeared to view it as further evidence of a power imbalance. The gesture, which showcased both Disha's financial success and her generosity, paradoxically intensified his feelings of inadequacy rather than alleviating them. Other revealing moments accumulated over time. When Disha received community recognition for her business achievements, Michael was noticeably absent from these celebrations. During family gatherings, witnesses observed his tendency to minimize her accomplishments while emphasizing his contributions to their shared success. Financial decisions repeatedly became flashpoints. Despite Disha's role as the primary breadwinner, she encountered resistance when making independent financial choices. Meanwhile, her accounts were apparently accessible to Michael without similar restrictions. These incidents, individually, might have seemed minor disagreements. Collectively, they formed a pattern of control that grew more pronounced with time. The most troubling aspect was how Disha's acts of kindness and success consistently triggered negative responses, creating a relationship where her positive attributes became liabilities. Those in Disha's inner circle witnessed concerning patterns long before the fatal conclusion. Her family members repeatedly expressed worry about Michael's behavior, particularly his reactions to Disha's independence and accomplishments. According to the investigation, they had identified him as exhibiting traits consistent with covert control tactics. Disha's teenage daughter reportedly observed tension at home, noting changes in her mother's typically optimistic demeanor following disagreements with Michael. Friends commented on Disha's increasing tendency to check in with Michael before making plans, a departure from her previously autonomous decision-making. Despite these mounting concerns from multiple sources, Disha continued investing emotionally and financially in the relationship. Those close to her described frustrated attempts to discuss their observations, which Disha often deflected or minimized. Her deeply nurturing nature and commitment to her marriage apparently prevented her from fully acknowledging the escalating risk. The evening before her death presented perhaps the most critical missed opportunity for intervention. When Disha's 16-year-old daughter couldn't reach her mother, an unusual occurrence given Disha's reliability, this deviation from normal patterns signaled imminent danger. By the time this absence was recognized as significant, the situation had already progressed beyond prevention to tragedy. The events of October 25, 2023, began like many other days, with no outward indication of the violence to come. Based on the police investigation, a sequence of crucial moments led to Disha's death. Early that morning, both Disha and Michael were captured on apartment complex surveillance video. The footage shows them arriving separately at first. Later recordings reveal a pivotal moment, Disha entering Michael's vehicle. The manner of her entry and their departure suggested tension, according to investigators who reviewed the footage. What happened in the hours immediately following remains partially reconstructed through evidence and witness statements. The couple's movements that morning traced a path that eventually led to the 1600 block of Murdoch Road in Dallas. Phone records indicate attempted calls to Disha went unanswered during this period, unusual for someone described by family and friends as consistently responsive. These silent hours created mounting concern among those who knew her routines well, particularly her teenage daughter, who had already noticed her mother's uncharacteristic absence the previous evening. The first indication something was wrong came the evening before the murder. Disha's 16-year-old daughter tried repeatedly to contact her mother without success. For a woman described by everyone as unfailingly reliable, especially regarding her daughter, this silence was deeply out of character. According to statements gathered during the investigation, the teenager's concern intensified throughout the evening and into the following morning. She reached out to other family members, asking if anyone had heard from her mother. The collective worry grew as hours passed without word from Disha. This breakdown in communication represented a significant deviation from Disha's established patterns. As a dedicated mother who prioritized her family responsibilities, her sudden unavailability sent immediate signals that something was amiss. The daughter's intuitive sense that something was wrong proved tragically accurate. Her concern about her mother's unusual silence became one of several missed opportunities for intervention. Had the significance of this unusual behavior been recognized earlier as a potential danger sign, the outcome might have been different. The investigation revealed multiple indicators that the murder was not a spontaneous act, but followed careful planning. Michael Smith's actions before, during, and after the shooting demonstrated deliberate decision-making rather than impulsive rage. Evidence collected from Michael's vehicle included a bullet casing and blood traces that matched Disha. Forensics experts determined that the positioning and pattern of these elements aligned with a premeditated attack rather than a struggle or accident. Investigators noted that Michael had opportunities to de-escalate or end the confrontation, but instead chose actions that led to violence. The close-range chest wound indicated direct, intentional harm rather than defensive action or distance shooting. Law enforcement officials concluded that the timing and location of the shooting suggested planning. The relatively isolated area where Disha's body was found indicated a deliberate choice of location, away from potential witnesses. These elements collectively painted a picture of calculation rather than an unexpected eruption of anger. A man who had considered his actions and proceeded despite numerous opportunities to make different choices. Police responding to the shooting call on Murdoch Road discovered Disha's body abandoned on the roadside. The medical examiner determined she died from a single gunshot wound to the chest, fired at close range, suggesting the shooter was in proximity to her when pulling the trigger. Near the crime scene, investigators found one of Disha's sandals, indicating a possible struggle before the shooting. The location, a less traveled area of Dallas, suggested the shooter had chosen a place where discovery would likely be delayed. After the shooting, instead of seeking medical help for Disha or contacting authorities, the perpetrator left her body exposed on the roadside and fled. This abandonment emphasized the callousness of the act. Evidence technicians documented blood on the front passenger seat of Michael's car, establishing it as the likely location of the shooting. The vehicle itself became a key piece of evidence, containing not only blood and the bullet casing, but also fibers matching Disha's clothing. These details collectively revealed not just how Disha died, but the disturbing indifference with which she was treated in her final moments. If you've stayed with us through this difficult part of Disha's story, thank you for your commitment to understanding the full picture of domestic violence. These details matter because they help us recognize potential danger before it reaches this point. Please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who might benefit from this information. Your simple action could help someone identify concerning patterns in their own relationships. In the comments, I'd like to hear your thoughts on how we as a community can better support those who might be experiencing similar situations. Subscribe now as we continue exploring the pursuit of justice for Disha. The morning of October 25, 2023 marked the beginning of the official investigation into Disha Stevenson's death. Dallas police officers responded to a shooting call near the 1600 block of Murdoch Road, where they discovered Disha's body abandoned on the roadside. The immediate assessment confirmed she had suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the chest. From the outset, investigators recognized the hallmarks of domestic violence. The crime scene analysis began promptly, with evidence technicians collecting samples, documenting the scene, and photographing crucial details that would later connect the dots in this case. Detectives immediately launched a comprehensive investigation, interviewing neighbors, potential witnesses, and beginning the process of gathering surveillance footage from the surrounding area. The discovery of personal items belonging to Disha at the scene, including a sandal that matched what she had been wearing, provided initial clues that helped investigators establish a preliminary timeline of events leading up to her death. The investigation built a compelling case through methodical collection and analysis of evidence. Perhaps most crucial was surveillance footage from an apartment complex that captured Disha and Michael arriving separately, then leaving together in his vehicle under circumstances that suggested tension. Inside Michael's car, investigators discovered damning physical evidence: a bullet casing that matched the caliber of the weapon used in the shooting, and blood traces that DNA analysis later confirmed belonged to Disha. The position of the blood on the front passenger seat helped investigators determine the likely location where the shooting occurred. Forensic analysis of the bullet wound indicated it was inflicted at close range, suggesting direct, intentional action rather than an accident or distant shot. This finding contradicted any potential claim of self-defense or accidental discharge. Additional evidence included phone records, documenting the attempts to reach Disha, her recovered personal effects, and the precise location where her body was found, all piecing together to form a comprehensive picture of the crime. Following the shooting, Michael Smith's actions revealed a disturbing attempt to return to normalcy. Behavior investigators recognized as typical of someone attempting to distance themselves from a violent crime. Rather than contacting authorities or seeking help, Michael chose a path of calculated indifference. Most notably, after abandoning Disha's body on Murdoch Road, Michael visited a local barbershop. This seemingly routine activity, getting a haircut hours after allegedly shooting his wife, struck investigators as a deliberate effort to establish an alibi while blending back into everyday life. Witnesses at the barbershop later provided statements about Michael's demeanor and appearance that morning, noting nothing unusual about his behavior, a fact that prosecutors would later point to as evidence of his calculated mindset following the murder. This attempt to resume normal activities rather than showing concern for his wife's whereabouts became a significant aspect of the case against him, demonstrating what prosecutors described as consciousness of guilt and a disturbing lack of remorse. Police located and arrested Michael Smith at the barbershop, the very place he had gone in an apparent attempt to establish normalcy after the crime. The arrest occurred without incident, with officers taking him into custody based on the mounting evidence connecting him to Disha's death. Following his arrest, investigators conducted a more thorough examination of his vehicle, recovering additional evidence that strengthened the case. Michael was formally charged with murder, a first-degree felony in Texas that carries potential sentences ranging from 5 to 99 years or life imprisonment. During his initial court appearance, the judge set bond at $1 million, an amount reflecting both the severity of the charges and the court's assessment of flight risk. The high bond amount also acknowledged the violent nature of the crime and potential danger to others. Local news outlets extensively covered the arrest and initial court proceedings, bringing attention to both the case itself and the broader issue of domestic violence that it represented. As the case against Michael Smith moves through the legal system, he remains in custody awaiting trial. Prosecutors have assembled a substantial body of evidence, including the forensic findings, surveillance footage, witness statements, and the timeline of events on October 25, 2023. The prosecution's case highlights not only the physical evidence linking Michael to the murder, but also establishes motive through testimony from family members regarding the couple's relationship dynamics. Their statements about Michael's jealousy of Disha's success and his controlling behavior provide context for the crime. The defense team has challenged certain aspects of the evidence collection process, but multiple motions to suppress evidence have been denied by the court. Pretrial proceedings have established parameters for what testimony and evidence will be admissible during the trial. While no trial date has been officially set on the court calendar, prosecutors have expressed confidence in the strength of their case and their ability to secure a conviction for the murder of Disha Stevenson. Disha Stevenson's story illuminates patterns present in many domestic violence cases. The progression from control to violence rarely happens overnight. Instead, it develops gradually as boundaries erode and power imbalances intensify. What makes her case particularly instructive is how her success and independence became factors that increased her risk. Rather than celebrating her achievements, her husband appeared threatened by them. This dynamic, where a partner's growth triggers insecurity instead of pride, represents a documented risk factor in domestic violence situations. The case also demonstrates how financial generosity can sometimes be exploited. Disha's support of Michael, including the $10,000 gift, reflects how victims often continue investing in relationships despite mounting evidence of problems. Most importantly, her story challenges common misconceptions about who experiences domestic violence. As a successful entrepreneur and respected community member, Disha defies stereotypes about victims. This reality underscores how domestic violence transcends socioeconomic boundaries, affecting individuals across all segments of society. Numerous resources exist that might have altered Disha's tragic outcome. Domestic violence hotlines provide confidential support, safety planning, and referrals to local services. These 24-hour lifelines connect callers with trained advocates who understand the complex dynamics of abusive relationships. Emergency shelters offer immediate physical safety and typically provide comprehensive services, including counseling, legal advocacy, and housing assistance. Many communities also have transitional housing programs designed to help survivors establish independence over time. Legal protections, such as restraining orders, while imperfect, create documentation and consequences for violations. When combined with proper enforcement, they can provide meaningful protection. Family justice centers in many cities offer coordinated services under one roof, eliminating the need to navigate multiple systems during crisis. Financial assistance programs specifically designed for survivors address the economic barriers to leaving dangerous relationships. These programs recognize that financial dependence often keeps victims trapped and provide bridges to self-sufficiency. Importantly, early intervention services can help identify and address concerning relationship patterns before they escalate to violence. Specific elements of Disha's experience offer valuable lessons for identifying concerning relationship patterns. The gradual increase in controlling behaviors, from Michael's apparent jealousy of her business success to his growing resentment of her independence, demonstrates how control often intensifies over time. The reactions to her financial decisions, particularly her generous gift, illustrate how financial dynamics can reveal underlying issues. When generosity triggers resentment rather than gratitude, it may signal problematic power dynamics. Disha's daughter's concern about her mother's sudden unavailability highlights a crucial point. Unexpected change in communication patterns, particularly with reliable individuals, deserve immediate attention. This detail emphasizes the importance of taking seriously what might initially seem like minor concerns. The discrepancy between public appearances and private reality in their relationship serves as a reminder that abuse often remains hidden behind carefully maintained appearances. This understanding encourages looking beyond surface interactions to recognize potential danger signs, particularly when friends or family members express concern about relationship dynamics. Though her life ended tragically, Disha Stevenson's impact continues through the many lives she touched. As a business owner who empowered other women, her influence extends beyond her immediate circle to the entrepreneurs she inspired and mentored. Her commitment to community service created ripple effects that benefit Dallas residents even now. As a mother who prioritized her daughter and cared devotedly for her own mother, Disha embodied family commitment that transcends her absence. The values she instilled and examples she set remain powerful legacies for those who loved her. Perhaps most importantly, sharing her story creates potential for preventing similar tragedies. By understanding the progression of her relationship and the missed opportunities for intervention, communities can develop more effective responses to domestic violence. Her legacy also challenges systems to improve. Each case like Disha's highlights gaps in existing protective measures and creates urgency for developing better prevention strategies, more responsive legal interventions, and stronger support networks for those at risk. As we conclude Disha's story, I invite you to take 3 meaningful actions. First, please subscribe to this channel to support our continued efforts to bring attention to these important issues. Your subscription helps these stories reach more people who need to hear them. Second, share this video with someone you care about. The information presented here could help someone recognize concerning patterns in their own relationship or in the relationships of those they love. Knowledge truly is power when it comes to preventing domestic violence. Finally, leave a comment sharing one resource or support system in your community that assists those experiencing domestic violence. Your local knowledge could prove invaluable to a viewer in need. Remember that domestic violence thrives in silence. By liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing, you help break that silence. Thank you for honoring Disha's memory by engaging with her story and for being part of a community committed to preventing similar tragedies through awareness and action.